They have thousands and thousands of acting agents, and then they control some of the biggest Zionist organizations. I forget the two that are the most prominent, but then they deploy them into the United States and the other 40 countries to then push Zionism, and they give it all its right. World Zionist Organization. I encourage everybody to go look it up. Sleeper cells? It sounds like you're saying the Zionists are sleeper cells. I mean, like, go look it up. They're extremely organized. They're very involved in their politics.
Is that a sin? Isn't that just intelligence, Bima? Are you just criticizing the fact that they're well organized? What's your point? Hello?
I'll tell you what. Yeah, no problem. So, in the United States, we have Republican and Democratic committees, right, in each of our local municipal jurisdictions.
Don't forget the libertarians.
Well, libertarians, they might be here or there, but they're not usually a party to the left and the right.
Ron Paul was a presidential candidate.
Yes, but I'm talking about in your city committee,
I'm running for mayor of Chicago as a libertarian. I'm just saying libertarians are real and they're on the ballot.
Yeah. I'm not saying that the Libertarian Party doesn't exist. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that every jurisdiction in the United States you have, because it's necessary, it's written into the structure of how we govern ourselves. Even when it comes down to elections, you notice that you don't have a Libertarian Party. Every election, when you have your elections inspector, you have to have 2 Republicans, 2 Democrats. Nothing to do with any type of libertarians. 2 Democrats, 2 Republicans. You have a Republican commissioner and a Democrat commissioner for elections in every jurisdiction in the country. Okay, you're talking about villages, hamlets, towns, cities, counties, all the state, okay, all the way up. And that's what I mean by the 2 parties. So you have Democrats and you have Republicans. Now, what I'm saying is
I'm not doing business with the Jewry.
So organized that they have their own organized layer of hierarchy of deployment that come out that do the same thing that the Democrats and the Republicans do. They get people to vote. They order. I mean, like, it's crazy. Just go and look it up, research it. It's the most powerful, I mean, like, they're just there's no other organization that's as powerful as the Jewry. When they come together, they get shit done. AIPAC, that's it. It's powerful, but you know what? That's just a farce. It's really the connections. It's the power of the connections deepens. That's why they voted AIPAC the most powerful PAC. Not financially. It's through connections. It's through the power and the influence. Everything beginning to register and voting and organizing people to vote.
Yeah, but Bima, you're making it sound as if there's something sinister here as opposed to just doing business and living life and wanting security and safety and health and prosperity. You're projecting perhaps your own delusion onto an organization dedicated to the security and preservation of a group. What the fuck do you think groups do? What do you think nonprofits and corporations do? They invest because they're self-interested. You're just describing reality, but you have no fucking point.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody like you would come to that conclusion because you're just delusional and you have boogers in your nose.
Well, listen, you got me there. You caught me picking my nose, but I still got at least a point when I put my finger up in the nostril to get the booger out. You still got no fucking point. I can pick my nose and have more of a point than what you just said. You just described reality. Wow. You hear that, everybody? Whoa.
The point is it's supposed to explain the influence of the World Zionist Organization and Zionists in American politics and how it affects Americans and how it's not democratic grassroots legislation that's being passed. It's external ruling elite lobbying that comes over, and that's what I'm trying to say. This is what I'm talking about by the occupation, by being occupied. Okay, so
Americans being occupied by Jews,
by a very powerful force. Very, very organized.
You know, Bima, I hate to break the bad news to you, but this country's $40 trillion in debt and $100 trillion in unfunded debt. Even if you're right, it still doesn't fix shit. Therefore, you still got no fucking point.
Oh no, I don't have a point. Except our country literally.
Is it Dr. Megatron?
We went to war.
Is that the motherfucking Megatron, my hero? My Catholic savior? I became Catholic because of you, Megatron. I was confirmed in the Catholic Church this past Friday. Thank you. You saved my soul. You made me Catholic again, Megatron. I do, and that guy, he's always playing with his hair, and he's got hair plugs. He's very he's got a lot of self-confidence issues. He's a little Napoleon Bonaparte. He's going to take back Cuba, and, you know, they say Kash Patel is going to become the leader of Iran. It's going to be an amazing 2026.
What title does Marco Rubio hold? And what did he say?
Secretary of State said that you could be a Hezbollah terrorist, and I filed a FISA report with the FBI against you, Dr. Bima.
That's what he said. That's exactly what he said. And he said that the reason that we went to war it was because Israel was attacked. We got pulled into it. Okay, that's what happened. Pentagon. Israel was going to attack, and then it was going to fall back on us, so we had to defend ourselves. So we got pulled into it. This is the first time that we got pulled into it in June of 2025 with the 12-day war. Just more bullshit, right? Okay, there was no imminent threat. The imminent threat thing is a complete bullshit, complete farce. We had Joe Kent, the director of the counter-terrorist director of the counter-terrorist something, right? He even admitted, he's like, he resigned. He said, this is bullshit. This is not true. Proxies, terrorists. I was like, yeah, absolutely. Do we agree that they're just like, yeah, sure, we can even agree to that. But I think somebody who's the director of counterintelligence or counter-terrorist, right, with utmost intelligence, I think he would know more than anybody what the threat is. And what did he say? Okay, well, he's going to resign.
Yeah, but Bima, he's not the motherfucking commander-in-chief. He's just another fucking guy. He's not the commander-in-chief. He's not the commander-in-chief. He's a fucking guy who resigned and wrote a letter and got social media clout from it. He's not an elected leader. He's not the president. He's a fucking guy with a lot of good hair. He's got great hair. You got to give him good. Got great fucking hair, doesn't he?
Thank you, my dear friend. Thank you.
Girlfriend بعينك يا حمار. No.
The 12-day war was more so about the fact of what's currently happening in southern Lebanon, right? Where, and also with the Houthis and with Hamas, because the IEC has been funding all of these groups and effectively causing like the issues in the various aspects of the region, right? And this is part of the reason why who is not a Zionist and doesn't agree with the country or the government of Israel, supports taking down the IRGC to some extent, right? Why she says that Hezbollah is a terror group, and she probably would have a similar feeling about the Houthis and probably about Hamas also. If she, I don't want to speak for you, you can clarify if you would please. But the IRGC has been basically terrorizing the entire area. This is why the Lebanese government is doing what it's doing, kicking out the Iranians, trying to kick out Hezbollah if they can. They can get a hold of it, and this is why also many of the surrounding Arab countries are also, while quietly, so seemingly to help America and Israel contain some of Iran's rockets and warfare.
Yeah, I don't disagree with any of that. Right. Good morning. Good morning. I don't disagree with any of that. But what my contention is we were lied to. We were perceivably lied to. You know, the president, there was just a meeting, it was held yesterday, I have to figure out what it was, but it was like some directed this intelligence meeting, and the people that attended, the officials that attended, were so disgusted by the lack of non-information that they were basically given like, there is no plan here. Let me bring it up real quick.
Well, as far as being lied to, anybody who probably served in the military will tell you that the average individual on the street of America doesn't really deserve any information about going to war, because the people at the top have the intelligence, and while some people at the top may feel like they were lied to, the president of the United States and his cabinet have the most. They have access to basically all of the intelligence in the world. So even if somebody made such a claim, they would be able to use whatever information they get from other sources to validate that claim if they want to, or they can just go to war if they choose to. The American people may not like that, and they can go against it, right? They can fight and protest and do whatever they can. But effectively, when it comes to matters of national security, you as a person on the internet don't necessarily need all the information or intelligence that is needed to make decisions to go to war. Right? It's like you're not sitting in a command center in a war room or anything like this. You're just on the internet with whatever sort of information that you can read from the news. You aren't making any decisions about who has to live and who has to die. And that is unfortunately what people have to do when they are either defending their country or defending their resources or making certain financial decisions for their population.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you. But the president still has a responsibility to the people to at least tell other people who in the cabinet or whatever else what's going on. There has to be some sort of accountability, right? Because if the president just woke up today and said, okay, we're gonna go and bomb Israel, I think we would all be like, oh. Yeah, no, I said Israel. I said Israel. No, I said Israel for a reason, right? Because you would want to know, and you wouldn't be saying, well, you're just a person on the internet, you don't deserve. No, there's a responsibility. Sure, yeah, maybe there is some intelligence that he has. Something's going on, and something's going to happen, and it's in Israel. Just trust him and close our eyes in it. No. There's layers to this. There is a responsibility. There is a duty. We're not asking for all the information, but we need to make sure that the criteria is met, and that's what I'm saying. I don't need all of the details, but I do want to know if the details that you have met the criteria that is necessary for what would be.
What criteria are you talking about? In war, there is no criteria.
Who determines the criteria?
The imminent threat. There's different doctrines. There's the Carolyn doctrine. There's the Bush doctrine. There was things that were expanded by Bush to there's a criteria of what would be considered an imminent threat versus a preemptive.
Bima, how long does it take a socialist to become a fascist? How long does it take a communist to become a fascist?
I don't know. I'm going to refer that to John Kitover. He should be able to answer that.
Listen, you're dancing around communism and fascism, and you don't even know it. You've already admitted you're willing to join a terrorist organization dedicated to murder, and it's basically the mafia. I mean, you actually would fit in with a mafia organization well. You would be a great female captain of some, hierarchy. The point is, this room has no point. Even the title itself is ranking our presidents, and you got Buchanan at 45. He's at least in the top 10.
John, I don't even know what to say to you anymore.
Well, you're not wrong. I do have a gut going, but it's been a long winter, and I've eaten a lot of chicken shawarma. The Palestinians have moved in, and I've been eating all their delicious chicken, and I got a gut from the Palestinians, and they're great cooks. You ever had garlic? Dip. Oh my God, these Palestinians, they are cuisine. They're the best. They know how to cook.
Did you eat it with garlic and what do you call this one? The vegetable that you شو اسمه مخلل شنو مخلل ذكرني.
Arabic salad.
With garlic and pickles.
Listen, the greatest thing about we're talking about garlic sauce and shawarma over here. We're not trying to talk about the decimation and obliteration of the IRGC. We've moved past that topic. There will be no IRGC by Sunday. Trust me. Pete Hegseth is willing to go all the way. I can't believe they've done even what they've done. They're either geniuses or they're madmen. It's hard to tell.
A little bit of both.
Do you think Trump is a big Khanith or not?
Joker, Agil.
I think he is. I think he is totally big Khanith.
Oh, really? Joker, push.
Joker, ya sharmuta.
You like sharmuta with garlic, but you like sharmuta with where?
I just want all the Iranians here to know that America is coming to liberate your nation and that we will free you from the treachery of the IRGC and their cruel assassins that are murdering you in the streets. America is willing to go all the way. Are you willing to meet us to help claim your sovereign land as your own again, free from these Islamic terrorists?
And what, Japan?
We already chatted if you wanted.
Well, you guys got to start reading Rumi, Jalal al-Din.
Of the U.S. and you just happen to live in southern Lebanon, if you're a non-Hezbollah, peaceful individual who just owns a farm, minding your own business, I'm sorry, America isn't going to do anything about that except continue to participate and fund the people who have pushed you out of your homes, destroyed your homes, killed children, your children, and
Yeah, that's the terrorist organization known as Hezbollah, which you want to join.
No. We're talking about Israel.
Oh, gotta clarify. It's called subject object. You gotta make sure you're specific here. I got it confused with Hezbollah for a second.
If you were listening, you would have known.
You're really flattening the situation, though, right? You're flattening it because your position is like you believe that Israel is doing something which is like colonizing some land in southern Lebanon, and the reason why Hezbollah started was because they wanted to fight them. No, the reason why Israel actually entered southern Lebanon, at least based off of what I read, was because the PLO was originally there, and then Iran helped to build Hezbollah in order to help the PLO fight the Israelis, and the PLO collapsed and they moved, I guess, into the West Bank, or became the West Bank, and then
I'm not doing business with the Jewry.
continuing to fight. So they are the terrorist groups in southern Lebanon are the reason why Israel is there to begin with. Now, you can see
Except Hezbollah didn't come until after Israel occupied southern Lebanon to begin with.
Yeah, but they did it because of the PLO in southern Lebanon. They already had terrorist groups in southern Lebanon. Israel didn't just enter southern Lebanon, right? It's the same thing with the Golan Heights. Israel didn't just quote-unquote occupy the Golan Heights. Israel took over control over the southern Golan Heights because of the attacks on the 1660s.
These beautiful things that I said, please stay. I want you, I need you, oh guys.
This was unexpected.
But what does that have to do with the peaceful people who are just living peacefully on their farms? The Christian priest who was just killed, by the way, or the Catholic priest. He said they told him, you have to get out because there's danger here. And he said, no, this is where I've lived my whole life. This is where I've built my life. This is where I've built this. This is mine. I'm going to live and I'm going to die. And unfortunately, he's now dead.
That's the choice that he made, and that's the choice that the government made, right? So the people...
The Israeli government government did to kill an innocent person, right? He killed a priest. He killed a Catholic priest. You're going to justify that. Justify it. Go ahead.
I'm justifying it. You know that rockets and bombs are coming from your place and going into another place, and there's going to be retaliation, and the government tells you to move, and you don't move, then that's your own fault, right? It's the same as in Israel. There are people in northern Israel
why the fuck is my son?
with Hezbollah, right? And the government said, okay, people, you have to evacuate, and those people that chose not to evacuate and they died, that's their responsibility. They have the opportunity to leave. The government of Israel has evacuated a lot of people from the north of Israel. They said, okay, we will put you up in temporary housing or find you a place to go, but you have to get out of here because this is effectively a war zone. Lebanon did the exact same fucking thing. They said, okay, people, this is a war zone. Get the fuck out. Go somewhere else, and you can go back when it's over. But they chose not to go. Because why? Their personal pride, right? Individual pride. People are allowed to have their individual pride. That's fine. But
Bima doesn't believe in personal responsibility, intelligence, or common sense. She just cares about the average farmer who's getting pushed around and abused. Right, Bima?
I care about innocent, peaceful people who are minding their own business. Yeah.
And sometimes, in order to stay that way and stay alive, you have to run when you see bullets coming, right? You don't just stand there and say,
"That does not justify
bullets are going to go around me."
Right? No, I understand that. I understand that, but that does not justify the atrocities that the other people are creating. If you want to get Hezbollah, go ahead, go in and get Hezbollah, but do it in a way that isn't going to be indiscriminate and creating.
Check, my man. Check. Commander, 5-star general, the Southern Sudanese Liberation Army.
You had
How long will we have to listen to these horrible, terrible people? Check. Until they finally come around and realize how stupid they are. They're low IQ. Bima admitted that she would join Hezbollah and kill people. She's a terrorist. She said it.
Person's head in front of you, or no, we'll just say
she's shameless.
An innocent person that you've just grabbed, okay, and you're holding them in front of you, and you're taking a gun and you're pointing it at me, okay, you're pointing the gun at me. Now I have a gun too, but I'm going to use my gun in self-defense. If I shoot through instead of shooting you, okay,
we're gonna have to call Optimus Prime to handle this one.
It's not justified. I'm not going to shoot through an innocent person. I'm creating another victim. I'm getting you, but I'm creating another victim. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And that's why we don't do it. That's why we don't do it on a micro level, because we understand that that's not right.
No, this is slightly retarded because one is called a moral quandary, and people who are in the military or whatever, people who are philosophers and people who talk about morality, they talk about these things all the time. Why? Because they actually happen in real life. They actually happen in real life, and they happen more often than we like to think. That innocent people are victimized in the process of other people's conflicts, and that is. It's part of
Check can't pull away. He keeps coming back. I'm in the room he wants to be in.
From one place to another, otherwise you will be damaged, and you choose not to go, then you put yourself in danger. You are taking that responsibility upon yourself.
No. What's happening is, that's part of it. Sure, you're taking responsibility.
No, what's happening is Bima's world is happening right now.
You'll take your turn, but that still does not justify the harm that the other person is creating. You cannot harm and create another victim while claiming self-defense. That does not math. It will not ever math. Unfortunately, we have people still to this day that want to use the primitive mind of the quote-unquote moral quandary to use this term of collateral damage. No, sorry. If you want to get the offender, go in and get the offender and stop the offender. If you're going to harm an innocent person, you're now creating another victim, and that victim and that victim's family now has full authority to then harm you, okay? And so now, because they're going to defend themselves, and so now they're shooting at you, you're shooting at the people behind behind them, right? But because now the new people are shooting at you and the people behind them are shooting at you, now you're going to have more people shooting. Do you understand how that doesn't work?
So is that your justification of Hezbollah and Hamas creating also their own terrorists, right? Like you're saying that now they're justified, or these innocent people are justified, quote unquote, in their families. Now you're saying that these Israelis are also justified in being blood redeemers for their families because of what Hezbollah and Hamas are doing.
Isn't that what Israel's doing?
No, that's actually this is not talking about.
Okay.
Bima, I'm not going to talk about Israel because I don't care about this subject, but I'll tell you something about Hezbollah. Hezbollah is like the Iranian regime. They use their people as shield. So they don't have to be between houses hitting other countries. They can be like, as you say it, in farms or something far away from people.
You should be taking notes, Bima, so you know how to be Hezbollah. You're going to have to sacrifice your loved ones for your cause, Bima.
Argument for defunding AIDS medication.
People doesn't understand how Islamic terrorism actually works. She thinks it's just resistance groups like, Black American resistance against slavery and segregation or something like this. This is not the same thing.
No, I don't. You can replace any variable. It doesn't matter. The point is that if you're going to claim self-defense, you can't create new victims. Period. Full stop.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, and that's a lot.
Especially when you offer people the way out, right? If you offer people a way out, and you aren't just like shooting through the person that's killing them, and like people on both sides are telling you to like move out of the way, and you just say, "No, I'm not going to move out of the way. I'm going to stand right here and be my peaceful self." You are going to be in the middle of the conflict. You are then using that you are making a choice. That is your choice.
That's it.
You can't claim to be a victim when you are told how to not be a victim.
Of course you can, because explain to me what onus I have to do anything for you. I don't. Why do I have to move out of my home as a peaceful person, not harming any other peaceful people? If you're the one who's going to be the offender, if you're the one who's going to initiate the aggression on Hezbollah, right, or you're going to defend yourself, I have no obligation to you.
This is like Bart Simpson and Homer Simpson, with Bart Simpson saying, "Get out of my way. I'm throwing out air punches. Get out of my way." And Lisa's like, "If you walk in my direction throwing air punches and you hit me, I'm not at fault. You're at fault." Bima, Shai just talked about philosophy. Okay, Super Green Bean fascist moderator.
I do like you, and I do.
Well, I didn't mind you. At least you muted yourself.
I want you to know that I do like you, and I do respect some of your opinions, but that is really like the dumbest argument I've ever heard an adult make. You have responsibility to yourself and your family and all these other people to move out of the way of danger, so that you are not being a victim and not being killed. Like that is, you don't have a responsibility to them to not kill you. You have a responsibility to yourself and your own life and how to protect your life. That's how you do it. They say get out of the way or you will die, so you get out of the way so you don't die. It's like at a stop sign or a red light. You look at a crosswalk. You look both ways before crossing the street so you don't get hit by a car.
Right, and what I'm saying is, right, if that's the case, if you're not intelligent enough to create a situation where you're only harming the person who's threatening you, you feel that you're going to harm, you're not creative enough, you're not thoughtful enough to figure it out on your own, where you have to endanger other peaceful people. Okay, the point is why? I mean,
Can I say something? I want to just add something that, like, the people who are living in the area and they don't want to stand against their freedom and their safety, they have to suffer, unfortunately. Like, I am Iranian. When IRGC gets power, I should maybe earlier stand against them to not be like this. Now, US and Israel wants to attack us to just let us be free. So, which means that I am also somehow encountered in this situation.
Text one up again this
and
year.
I had to do something which I didn't really like.
It's not really your fault. You need guns against them.
Unfortunately, people living in area with Hezbollah, if they are really clever, they should not let them live there in the beginning.
This whole
It's guns against people, guys. You need to understand. It's guns against people. If you don't have a
I
gun,
know this is a gun against people, but I'm just explaining you.
Text one up again this year.
For the property tax rates, our families are.
because they what they want. Hezbollah wants. Listen, you Habibi. Wars don't work like that. People, they use civilians in order to stand. They say, look how many people they killed. It's a fucking technique. Like, this is a technique, war technique. Because they can just, like, Hezbollah themselves, they can just let the area be free and they can
Text
do
one up
what
again
they
this
want.
year. For the property tax rates, our families are staring down. Not anymore. On day one, we are cutting property taxes like.
Is a fucking terrorist group, and whoever agree with them is considered like, I can't even say that. So.
I'm not.
Those numbers mark the times.
I'm just telling you that.
Chicago, tonight we run it.
Who are living in
The mayor of Bloomington is beginning to take shape, and tonight a new name is on the ballot. Local veteran and small business owners.
So they have to stand against that. Otherwise, they have to suffer. Now you see, we Iranian, we should stand against this Islamic regime earlier. Maybe we could do better, but we didn't do that. That's why we're suffering now.
So we have who lives in Arab, and she speaks Arabic, and she understands like the Arab world. That Hezbollah is a terrorist group that uses their people as shields against their enemies.
Son of Chicago, the crime wave ends.
As part of their body count.
Chicago, settle onto your mat.
Poor here.
This is our moment.
We're on flags and stories that he and his people are being
John
also using
these little neighbors.
and they're taking personal responsibility, and they're willing to deal with that cost in order to be freed from this Islamic terrorism. And yet we have Bima here, who's sitting in America somewhere, talking on the internet outside of warfare, who's telling them, well, they're really victimized by the other people who are trying to save them, not the people who are trying to. I don't know what she believes Hezbollah and IRGC are actually trying to do.
Well, I mean, I don't think it matters where I'm sitting. Either my argument is valid or it's not valid, right? You don't have to circumstantial ad hom me, right? We could take the case of the priest.
Through the property tax rates, our families are staring down. Not anymore. On day one, we are cutting property taxes.
Because as an innocent, peaceful person, he decided to stay in his home. Okay? And so ultimately, what you're trying to claim is that this man has an obligation to surrender his church, his home, his body, just because Israel has a grievance with Hezbollah. Okay, that doesn't exist. That's bullshit. That's trash. Okay, your right to self-defense doesn't automatically become another innocent person's duty to self-sacrifice. It's trash, and it's what people do to justify the atrocities like so. You want to go and get Hezbollah? Go get Hezbollah. Yes, I do have a solution.
Bima is facing charges against Hezbollah and against Iran government and against Israel at the same time. There is no problem with that. We're against all of them. We're against war. We want world peace. We want this to be done at the end of the day. We're against it all, but war is fucked up.
Right, and I am saying that in the 21st century, in the 21st century, in 2026, with the technology that we have, with Trump's discombobulator, God bless him, that's a real quote. You can't make this stuff up, okay? With the technology that we have, which what I'm told, the reason that we have such an intense relationship with Israel is because of all of their intelligence and the science and the stuff that they give us. Okay. Well, show me that you can defend yourself without creating other innocent victims. I support that. I support that fully. But when you're going to create other victims, listen, if you wanted to tell this priest, you can tell this priest. If Israel, and just 1 second, or just 5 seconds.
Just a second.
Let me just finish this thought. Just let me finish this. Just 5 seconds. If Israel wanted to go to this priest and say, hey, look, we need you to go out of your home for the next week. We're going to do this and this and this. Okay? This area is going to be, we don't want you to get hurt. If anything is damaged, we will fix it. But we want you to be safe. I'm sure he would have said, no problem. But that's not what was sold to him. What's sold to him with the other people is get the fuck out. Your homes, your life, you are going to sacrifice for our self-defense. And everything that you've worked for, everything that you've built your entire life, everything that you own is now going to be for the sake and sacrifice of this other structure, this other government, the Israelis, okay? Bullshit.
Mr. Mayor in Riverton is beginning to take.
Just a second. Just a second. I'll just answer to her and then you come in and say something,
The
okay?
danger of always arguing.
I just want to say that.
Yeah, I know.
How come, wait, I want to say that.
Danger.
Jake, and tonight a new name is
I
on
was just telling you.
the ballot. Local veteran and small business owner John Kitover agreed.
Yes, I am.
Bima, just a second. I just want to ask you, how do you, why you are not thinking about the people in Israel when they are attacked and they are innocent and they are dying because of the Hezbollah? What do you have for that?
I 110% have always supported self-defense. I 110 support self-defense, 110% support self-defense to give you the tools necessary that you need to go in to stop the aggressor. I support that. If my tax budget, I support it. But I am not going to support the displacement, the homes, having other people sacrificed.
You cannot cure a cancer without taking chemotherapy. When you're taking chemotherapy, some of good cells are dying. You have no other option.
And sometimes chemotherapy kills you. Sometimes chemotherapy isn't good and it will kill you. I know because it's almost happened to my mother. Chemotherapy almost killed her from a terminal cancer. If we didn't stop the chemo, the chemo would have killed her, okay, before her terminal cancer would have. Okay, so this is my point. Right, well, I just wanted to be, I just thought it was an opportunity to shit out of chemotherapy.
Tonight we read.
Tuna, wait, start over, because I was talking.
Tonight we read a new chapter.
That happens a lot. The problem with always angrily arguing in the hypothetical is that you set up these unrealistic frames around everything. Is there's one good, one bad, and you see the world through a blinkered view. If you actually looked at the complexities that are involved in real life, as opposed to arguing in the hypothetical, you make it hypothetical, but it doesn't make any sense to do so because you're basically wasting your time.
The hypothetical isn't supposed to be the hypothetical. The hypothetical is supposed to be there for us to create an idea to say, hey, look, this is an alternative, adjacent, possible. And if we adopt this, the goal is ultimately coexistence and peaceful coexistence with each other, right? But if you're saying that innocent people are morally obligated to sacrifice their rights, their property, so somebody else can carry out an attack on somebody else, that's just bullshit.
I'm going to drop you on the straw man because I didn't say anything of the sort. I was talking about when we disappear and navel gaze into oblivion and start coming up with these hypothetical situations that are framed. We frame the whole world into good and bad, like you've just demonstrated. You've demonstrated and then slipped in a fallacy and never said anything about, putting people, in as cannon fodder and martyrs. I've never said anything of the sort. I was talking about how when you reason with hypotheticals, you're basically able to make any point, and the points that you're making have no weight to them because they have no material basis in reality. They're just pontification. We have to get out of these hypothetical, pseudo philosophical, idealist, directions like they have any weight, because all it's essentially doing is it's stamping your feet and saying, I want my way. We'll find the victim, we'll identify the victim.
All right, point of order, moderator, put me in the queue. This is John.
Oh, fuck off, shit lover.
Go ahead, booger boy.
So I guess what I'd like to bring up is that we have two choices in life.
No one cares.
Okay, Tuna Boy.
You're an insane person that no one will ever vote for unless they are off their meds. You literally.
Well, that's what I'm counting on, Tuna. There's a lot of people off their meds these days. So what I'm trying to say is we've got two choices. Point of order, moderator. Moderator, point of order. If I can't speak and I'm being interrupted, I'm requesting you shoot this man and put him in the goo. Put the children at the children's table.
Listen, you know where you've been fucking your child molester. You missed the boat to get onto Epstein Island.
Hello, stop projecting, sir. Stop projecting.
Thrown out of the military, and you're a mad person.
Stop projecting, sir.
Literally the
Point of order, moderator. Moderator, point of order. All right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn my volume down. I'm just going to keep speaking as if I can't hear you because the volume is down and I can't hear a word you're saying. So what I'm trying to say is, ladies and gentlemen, we have two choices. Two choices. We can either game the system, and that means be as strong as possible and try to win through brute strength by overcoming nature itself. Or you have a second choice. You have a socialist choice, which is not the fascist choice. But it's my opinion that people who claim that strength is fascism or Zionism is something other than nationalism, you have to realize that we have a failure to communicate. We have a language problem. We have a communication problem. Go to ChicagoMayorVote.com. This is Chicago mayoral candidate John Kitover. I am complete.
Why don't we let this child molesting faggot into a Discord where we were having a conversation? Literally,
you came inside, we were
only nick other men's arseholes just to shit over so we can get a free meal.
Okay, let's pull it back. We can pull it back. Okay, so I'm gonna respond to Tuna real quick. So Tuna, I don't know what you mean by hypothetical. I'm not giving any hypotheticals. I'm trying to draw a causal chain of analysis to show that you cannot, private property, consent, initiation of aggression, self-defense, I'm all down for it. You cannot create innocent, you can't create victims and claim self-defense. That's my ultimate point. If Israel wanted to say, hey, look, move out for the week while we do deal with this, any damages we'll pay for, no problem. I would be down for that. I would understand that, but that's not what they said. They said you have to sacrifice your innocent status. You're no longer innocent just by proxy of where you're located. So you have to now sacrifice your home, your connection to the land, your career, your food, your food security, your financial. You have to sacrifice everything because I need to defend myself and my people next door. Okay, and you're not going to be able to come back. And by the way, not only are you not going to be able to come back, we're also taking this land now. We're taking over because we have to defend ourselves. That does not work.
That's insanity. We, again, as you said, we live in 2026. People are not serfs who are living off the land anymore unless they choose to. And if they do, they can go to a place. Even if they make that choice, they can go to a place nearby, generally, and then find a supermarket where they can have food security and other work temporarily. Like, this is it's crazy to like make this giant leap. Nobody was making such a claim.
That was just Sam. I understand what you're saying, but that was what I saw when Steve Sweeney, when he was going around and interviewing people. These were people that, yes, they had farms. You're talking about, I mean, like, I don't know what you think southern Lebanon looks like, but from the Blue Line to the Litani River, 40 to 60 villages decimated. Okay, yeah, a lot of people were farmers. A lot of people. It just was. Okay.
There just a few years ago.
Okay. So what's your point? Point is that there are no farmers there.
No, I didn't say that there are no farmers there. I said that people do not live as subsistence farmers, right? A subsistence farmer is a person who works the land for the purpose of having all of their food that they will probably ever have for a particular amount of time. These people have the ability to go transplant themselves temporarily to Beirut or whatever the case may be. The government, as far as I understood, was also going to help them or assist them. This was part of the process of them telling them to move so that they would be in a safer place, right? That's the reality on the ground. This isn't like a hypothetical situation of like, 2,000 years ago, you have to leave and you can't work on any other land or do whatever the case may be. Like, there are protocols, governmental protocols in place in many places. And we can also see that the state of Lebanon is somewhat working with the state of Israel in this against Hezbollah. It's actually pretty interesting that you don't actually talk about that. You talk about like land rights and things like that, but you aren't talking about the Lebanese government is somewhat a partner with Israel in this capacity against Hezbollah.
The reason is because I understand as a citizen in a state that my state doesn't represent me. My government doesn't represent me. Only I can represent myself. I don't have the ability or the power to dictate to the ruling elite what they're supposed to be doing or what they can and can't do. I can't do that. That's not in my power. The only power that I have
property taxes are on the rise again, and that's only part of what homeowners will be paying more for next year. Council approved the new water tax.
Obligations besides making sure that I'm not harming you or my neighbor. That's the only obligation that I have as a human being on this planet, okay? But that's your responsibility as well. That's your obligation to not harm another peaceful person, okay? We understand that states are rogue. I don't support a lot of things. I don't support. I won't say 100% of nothing because there's a lot of good that happens to be. Yeah, but there's a lot of bad that I don't support. Okay, and that doesn't have any. It's just a deflection. It's an excuse. It's a way to justify harming and sacrificing innocent, peaceful people in their homes and property. It doesn't matter what the liberties. The Israeli government, the defense minister said himself. He said, "Listen, this is what we're doing. We're going to be taking. We're going to be occupying it up to the Litani River, and you know what? We're going to be expanding our borders and." Like I said, talks about we're taking over. It's not new. It's not new. This is something that they've wanted to do. They've tried to do. They held it for 18 years before.
There is no other solution. You give me a solution for that. Let's say
solution for it. So what's
there? They want to hit me. They want to kill me, and I am acting against them. Okay. So, do you have any other solution? Give it.
Okay, well, I would say all they've done is they said, okay, everybody go on to, you leave. If you leave here, but now you're just, these people are just on the other side. They're still there. What makes you think that they're not going to still do the same exact thing? You're not, all you're doing is.
So you're dancing around your actual point.
Just I want to say something that like Bima, most of the war happened between the Israel and the neighbors. It's
Through the years I worked
I'm not
the
telling
uniform
all of them,
organization.
but most of them started when they attacked Israel first.
Here's the topic.
Right, but when you say
Loyalty,
they,
discipline.
that's a problem because the people who attacked Israel, sure, no problem, take them out. But what I'm saying is the innocent, if they've committed no wrongful
Like I
acts
said,
against Israel,
I gave you the example of
You may have an actual
but you
problem
couldn't
with
accept
reality.
it, which almost 90% of the people who having cancer are cured by the chemotherapy. There are some casualties, but it happens.
We heard it, but is this high school? Are you guys honestly gonna argue over who threw the first punch? Is it high school? Is this high school? Hello?
what we're arguing is how we can justify self-defense while creating new victims, right? And I don't think in the 21st century you could still.
So I'm going to correct myself that this statement that you just made recently, like this thing that you went on for like 3 minutes, was the actual dumbest statement that I've ever heard an adult make. And then what you said before was the second dumbest statement that I've ever heard an adult make. Like these people are offered a way out. They are given responsibilities and told what to do by their governments. And yes, as a citizen, you have to do certain things that your government tells you to do. As part of the package of being a citizen of the state, being a part of a community, being a part of like a nation. That is part of your responsibility.
No, they're sovereign citizens in southern Lebanon. Shah, you didn't know they're part of the sovereign citizen movement down there.
I did not know this. I was not aware.
Yeah, they don't have to have driver's licenses, they don't have to have license plates, they don't have to pay city stickers, they don't gotta pay parking meters, they ain't gotta pay property taxes, they ain't gotta pay nothing. They're sovereign. That's what Bima's talking about. Bima's actually part of the sovereign, citizen movement. She's trying to get in on the Hezbollah grift, though. Don't you see it, Bima? You're just a low IQ, brainwashed grifter trying to get in on these terrorists' grift.
It's impossible. Like this
Shai, you told me that I had a dumb idea, but I'm just telling that.
No, not you, bro.
In the
I was saying Bima's idea was dumb, not yours.
Okay, sorry. I'm just telling that in the beginning, we are living somewhere in an area. We have to try hard to just keep these people out of our life from the beginning. So we have to be aware where we are living. Like you in US, I'm giving an example of US, UK. If you see that these people are coming into your country and they bringing mess, you have to stand it now. If you want to do it in 10 years after, maybe there are some issues comes up.
So what you're saying is keep the Ilhan Omars out and the people that cause political dissent and possibly military or social unrest dissent.
Why do people believe that like these particular terror groups have any like right or any more credibility than any other group of people? Like, and what are we really supporting here? What I don't even understand if people understand what right and wrong are anymore in the world.
We're doing a genocide. We don't give a fuck about you.
Yes, thank you.
I mean,
that's you and your genocide. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Just get out of
Thank you. Thank you. Shukran. Shukran, Habibti. Inshallah. Inshallah. Habibti.
everywhere I see, I kill you. You know that shit?
$89 more profit. Or just numbers of the year. That's the number stamped on my dog tag when I served overseas. What an office and I'm Kitover. I served our country and I'm saying for just numbers of the years I wore the uniform.
This is it.
That's the number stamped.
So that's a problem, and I don't condone that. I don't condone everybody in the world.
Yes, you do.
You have the
Yeah. So you're no longer rational.
You are a moderator and she's one of the terrorists.
Hold on, one a second.
I'm telling you that you are a moderator and a terrorist.
Asha,
They're out.
Asha, could I finish? I'm sorry. Are you okay, Asha?
I'm not okay.
She's not okay.
People to talk. They have people they fucking said that
That's why we don't care.
Just let the word genocide.
don't care, Asha.
I'm the first woman.
Are you transsexual, Asha?
Anytime I want to fucking ass, shit, I am.
Are you a sharmuta?
No, you are honest.
Are you a
Dima, just leave this guy out.
Gloria, why do you speak like this?
What did I say?
You know, you're
This guy,
fucking
right?
honest.
You want Sharmuta Biljibin?
And nobody help you ask me.
You want your? I'm Korea as well. Just when you tell them.
I fucking come to
Aisha, we can't hear you. You're so far away from the phone.
You don't hear me.
Asha, خلاص كنت أمك يا أخي.
Yeah, Umati, what the fuck you are? Why do you fucking like to kill people? Just because of it? What the fuck? Why do you do that?
Dima, you see this lady Asha came inside. She's exactly have the same thinking as Hezbollah, and she's here just to ruin our room. You see, she's giving. She's
You know why? I can tell you why. Asha, hold on. Can I speak for you? Hold on 1 second.
Okay, can you tell us why? Tell us why.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. Because what I am claiming by creating new victims, that's what happens. Asha happens. Asha gets an exhaustion and a fatigue of having innocent people killed for this. If it was so that Israel decided to go in and kill the people that were only harming them, Asha would say, get out.
Yes,
Get out. Asha would say, I see my
Asha is
people.
the person
Asha
you're
would be
supporting.
able to say, hold on. Asha would be able to say, they're the aggressors. Go ahead, get them. Okay, no problem. I allow you to come get them. I don't want them. Come get them. But what you do is because the aggressors are by Asha, you blow up Asha, blow up Asha's family, and you said, oh, sorry. Proxy, you're in the area. You're in the proximal area. So do you know what? I'm sorry. It's what it is. You shouldn't be that bullshit. You cannot create more victims while claiming self-defense. You've now Asha.
Oh my God, Bima. Let me give you another hypothetical. 4 terrorists get through a security fence and go to a daycare in northern Israel and kill 30 children. Let's just do hypotheticals all day long.
Then the cycle will continue perpetually
You
forever.
mean like October 7th? Is that what you mean, Dima? Like October 7th when
I do mean October 7th.
when all of those Israelis were killed and they were just minding their business on.
Go ahead, Shai. Describe it to her.
Holiday, a double holiday, right? Minding their business, and all of a sudden they are bombarded and killed and slaughtered.
Okay.
Is that what it is? Is that okay? And now they're
Nobody says it's okay.
because they were victims, so can't victimize other people. Is that what you're saying?
No. That's what you're saying. That's what you're saying. That's your argument. No. I'll clarify my.
That's what you were saying. They created victims.
No. They didn't create victims. No. You're not understanding.
No, I don't understand.
Let's say here. I'll break it down.
Now
Go
they're
ahead first.
being victimized.